Gaming time.
He's right on time.
Right on time.
Time to earn the
Gaming
mask.
time.
There's our target. Chopper's landing. Confirm visual ID. Scarecrow, this is 6-2. Prepare to receive optical feed.
Copy, actual.
Alright.
Receiving transmission. Cleaning up the signal.
Helicopter's landed. Ram Ranch is under siege. Under lockdown.
Receiving data.
Track that fucker.
Target confirmed. Mission is a go.
Target has been confirmed.
Hard copy, Scarecrow 6-2 out.
Take him down. Yeah, this is another thing that Call of Duty did well. Just look at how big this fucking environment is. You notice just how everything is like fast and scrolling, and it doesn't really, you know, detract from the way that it looks. Look at these animated windows and shit. Look at all that. The buildings have their own names. Raymundo Interactivo. You know, it's things like this that can make a world feel immersive, and it's just the kind of thing that Cyberpunk and other games now were missing. You know, they don't have a name for the fucking store or the name of the building. They'll just call it generic, you know, building. Or, you know, instead of calling the grocery store, like, I don't know, John Marcus Grocery Store or something, they'll just call it grocery store. How inspired, how generic, clearly. Meanwhile, we got some cool fucking missions like this shit where you're off the side of a fucking building going down.
Line secure. Let's move down.
Alright, down we go.
The lights inside will keep them blind to us. Guy at the table. Take him out. Good. Shift right. Let's take care of the other two.
Even with animations and everything, the shadows too.
Target's
Bye-bye.
down. We're clear. Move to the next floor. More enemies below. Hold your fire. Got three at the poker table over here.
Left side, one in the kitchen, one on the way.
Shift left. Hit the kitchen first. Wait till he's in the kitchen, then take them both out.
That's the idea, Joker.
On you.
I'm waiting for him to get in the kitchen here.
Got movement in the center. Clear. Keep
There
it
we
moving.
go. Fucked him up. Some Mission Impossible shit right here. On down, Keegan.
Control center is on this floor.
It's gaming time. Yeah, what makes this work is, I think, especially just how big everything feels thanks to this narrow FOV.
Power system is in the back. Let's go.
You notice how much shit is just exaggerated, where there's a shitload of paper flying around, and then it like snaps to the ground and shit. And then when you shoot the fucking ground, they have these like cartoonishly big fucking particles, and they have a huge fucking bullet hole. Right? That's what makes Call of Duty work. When you fucking shoot this TV, bam, big ass sparks. Like 3 cracks in 2 locations. That looks like it was way more damaging than it is. Which is the best part of it. That really sells the illusion of Call of Duty. And it's the thing that so many others just simply couldn't get right when they tried to mimic it. Like, Homefront got really close, especially with the fire and the white phosphorus, but they didn't quite understand that you needed 60 FPS if you had shitty graphics. That's what probably would have helped a lot of the game's feel, especially, because you play that on PC, yeah, that's a lot better.
Quick, hide the alcove.
And since just about, like, any computer can run this shit, that makes it a really good option nowadays. So we'll let these butt buddies go through.
Let him pass.
And, That should do that for that. We're gonna just let them fucking take a hike. Bye bye, bitch. Lights out.
Wait for him to leave.
Off they go.
Back to the ropes and hook up.
And something as simple, like you don't even need to animate them going around the corner, you can just add a fucking door sound, which implies they went through one of these two doors over here. Crazy thought, but it's almost like good attention to detail. Makes the world seem believable. When you go down this shit and you see the cars down there, the roads, you hear the wind, that makes this feel a lot more immersive than it really is at times. This makes it feel important because it's big. Look at that shit.
I got him. One right below you.
Oh yeah.
Above him, we'll do this quietly. Alright, take him out.
Night night, motherfucker. Sorry to drop in on you unannounced. Took a stab in the dark. I think it worked. Killed him with the butt plug knife from CSGO.
Shut down the elevator, seal off his chance to bolt.
I've got the main bank in the west wing.
Awesome. Got your fucking window, homeboy. Fuck you, Windows. Use Windows 10, bitch. Off you guys. Goes through a door. They didn't need to animate any of that shit. They could have just had one door, and that could have been it. But no, he goes through two doors. See, that's more detail to do something really simple, but it's appreciated.
Clear.
And then when you shoot these bitches, they fucking, you know, wah! You know, just drop like that. They fucking flail around. Karani Systems. Or Sistemas.
I count 5 tangos
Helicopter
ahead.
outside.
Looks like Elias's training is paying off.
You fucking better hope so, sweetheart. Alright, what we got? Got a bison with a red dot, I'll take it. Beggars can't be choosers. Alright.
Clear right. Hash check in.
Main elevator's offline. Secondary's still active.
Copy. See you in
Over
5.
here. A whole lot of nothing
Big crew, we'll need
fast.
to surprise him.
Tov plate. You know, just wonderful looking buildings out there. Even though that doesn't even have a normal map from the looks of it. It makes it look a lot shinier than it really is, which is kind of to its benefit if you don't use normal maps in some cases, which was kind of a long-running issue with the skyboxes of Black Ops 3. And that's actually how they kind of save performance, just little shortcuts like those.
Left side.
You know, you would be shocked at how well that works at times. And if you use like shiny ass buildings to your advantage, it makes them look like all the fireworks and other lights are really affecting them when they're not.
Check your corners.
This trick works in Unreal Engine. This shit works in Unity. You could totally replicate this shit in like a year. How the fuck else do you think they make these games so fast?
Clear.
That's exactly how.
Strobes off. This way.
Strobe lights. I don't need to deactivate it, it'll do it for me. See. Would be nice if I could turn it back on though. A whole lot of nothing in there. Vector's a pretty good gun in this game. Yo, they're fucking using Windows 7.
Hash, we're entering from the northeast corner.
I would recognize
Almost to the control
that
room.
fucking action center, control panel, those shortcuts, old notifications, and the old fucking switch to desktop button anywhere. From the looks of it, this is an old, like, Dell laptop. running Windows XP with like this, you know, fucking gaming thing they got on it. Gaming army map. That's pretty funny. It was also like 4:17 p.m. when they made that, and also just shit like this, right? They were pretty accurately predicting the future, because I totally have a thermostat that's like that. They even got the flat design and everything. Like, my problem with the flat design now is that there's just nothing for your eyes to latch onto often. It's like, it's not that it is flat, it's just, you know, what the fuck is there to ground you to reality? Nothing. They've ran out of good shit.
Looks like we've got company.
Meanwhile, a game like this is still grounded in reality despite being semi-fantastical.
Here they come. Time to upgrade.
Oh yeah. It's gaming time. And yeah, they have very over-the-top environments with tons of guns and shooting and explosions. And considering this is what a lot of people consider to be one of the weaker games in the series, I guess we just didn't know how pampered we fucking were for choice. There are so many wonderful games like this, Call of Duty, Battlefield Hardline, great worlds and environments with really good details and other shit. Like when I fucking shoot the gun, the sound of the shells hit the fucking ground, and the shells are actually modeled and textured, animated and everything.
Grab your line, we need to move.
Another really good detail I like is the fireworks out there are affecting the building right here. And we blow this shit up. Then they start fucking playing a game of deadly whack-a-mole through a fucking fax machine at my face. I love that. They just fucking start throwing shit at me. Oh, and if you get hit by the dead guy, you get damaged. There we go. We're going down one. We gotta clear these floors.
We need to get inside now.
I'm holding. Let's go. Let's go, gamer. Bye-bye. Oh, did I get him? I think I did. Excellent. Killed him with a mid-air grenade. Pro tip if you fucking play Call of Duty. Don't ever fucking take shotguns in missions like these. You will get ass blasted. Use the assault rifle. When you have abstract shit in your game, you know, you need to make it so the abstract thing stands out against everything else. My problem with Cyberpunk and the way it was designed is like everything tries to be abstract, so therefore nothing is abstract. It all looks like a blanket state of Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, and it just looks super amateurish and bad. Couple that with just degenerate content that's been made for that fucking game being the only thing that most people tend to fucking associate with it anymore, simply because, yeah, what the fuck. You look up Google Images, you're more bound to find really disgusting fan pornography, so no thank you. As opposed to like the first and the second game, which actually did have some ties to real life murders at like, you know, Chuck E. Cheese. That totally got fucking retconned out, and the answers of the story changed with every fucking game. Until the story became just totally non-existent. So basically just believe whatever the fuck you want is the story, and that's probably right. So most people believe that they can just sexualize the characters, put them in Gmod, and there's your fucking story. There's a really terrible fucking rabbit hole, quite literally, of content that is on YouTube that is just straight up, you know, disguised as gameplay, even though it's not. It's not at all gameplay. And it's just straight up just, like, if not outright porn and softcore porn animations of Five Nights at Freddy's characters who've been, like, weirdly sexualized, so a lot of the cartoon shit like that is what it ultimately has devolved into. I mean, a lot of these people who do these kinds of things do so because they make it very obvious that they have mental illnesses and they want to take it out on others. But as well as that, you know, they take advantage of this thing and spin it into a totally fucking unrecognizable form. You know, it's like I say, the ship of Theseus, right? If you take every part of a boat and fucking change it beyond recognition, was it even the same boat anymore? I would argue not.
He's not here. Hesh.
And it kind of really puts a bad image on people who just like cartoons or just like stuff from the 80s and 90s, because usually what does it keep devolving into? Fetishized shit with anime characters, or women with big boobs, or guys with big muscles.
Where is he? No one knows. Hesh.
I didn't give a fuck about this game because of the sex appeal of, I don't know, random guy Ramos here. I liked all the cool shit, like all the fucking technology, these cool ass books, fucking Eiffel Tower, fun villain monologues, the world out there. The world, for fuck's sake. The people were the weakest part of this fucking game.
You tried to kill my father, you piece of shit! Hesh!
The sons of Elias Walker.
It's great.
Boy sent to do a man's work.
Where are you?
Fucking world and setting of this. Now,
What matters is
they can't be bothered to pretend that that's where they are.
And from this night forward, Elias lives with the knowledge he sent his own son.
They're stuck in the head of some degenerate fucking art on DeviantArt or Tumblr. You betrayed us. Die. Fuck you, Elon Musk. Time to run, bitches. And I love that all of the multiplayer maps are based off of shit that happened in the campaign, and they still tried to keep the gimmicks of, like, in this case, when you finish this in the single player, the multiplayer map is the direct aftermath of you fucking having Rourke escaping the building. Rourke blew this building in two. So the building is like halfway between two fucking skyscrapers now. If I could fucking move, this would be a lot faster. Thank you. My gun is turned to white. Hey there, buddy. I'm sliding. Come on, let's head down. Missed me. Let's get ready. There we go. And yeah, look at that. That's a fucking cool set piece moment. Remember, guys, this is a bad game.
Good work, you two. Now let's get the hell out of here.
Lovely reflection on those windows over there too. Just it looks great. You can see the road go off to the distance and all the cars that are on it. The background of the world looks like it's a normal place, and then you have the abstract shit that's mixed in here for the sake of like storytelling.
Big find. Rourke, he moves every 12 hours. But for the next 12, we know exactly where he'll be. A floating industrial complex out in the
This
Gulf,
shit's really cool.
occupied by the Federation. They
All this
call it
fucking oil and goop and shit.
NORAD made the find.
Look at
and
that.
They want him alive. You're getting some salvaged birds to hunt with, and I'll be an inspector coordinating the multiple units.
And we stole that dude's fucking big ass gamer laptop.
Big game.
That's the
So
kind
you
of
know what
fucking
to do.
laptop case I need for mine. Just this big fucking green shell with a suitcase handle. Because that shit's cool. If you don't have a laptop that's the size of a fucking, you know, the size of a car engine, what the fuck are you doing with yours? But yeah, it's shit like this with Call of Duty. They might not have had the best and most dynamic simulation systems or whatever the fuck else it'd be, like Battlefield. But they didn't fucking need them, because this shit looked big and impactful. When you fucking go by the trees, they fucking wave around with physics.
Do you want the 30mm or missiles?
We're gonna need both.
10, using 30.
You need the 30mm or the missiles? Yes.
Targets.
Lots of machine gun fire down there.
We got open fire. The building with the smokestacks. It's the building with the smokestacks.
Look at this. This is a large-scale fucking battle in a helicopter.
Re-engaging.
Smoke targets on the smokestacks. 1-1, we have enemy
And this is
fire.
the cool shit that I like with this game that I think Battlefield just simply never got right.
Enemy birds near the smokestacks.
We have enemy birds
this feels a lot more satisfying to pilot than the sort of unwieldy fucking rocking horse sort of, you know, helicopters they got in Battlefield 3 and 4. I get that might be more for the sake of, like, realism or whatever the fuck else, but I'm sitting on my ass playing with a controller, right? Or with a keyboard and mouse. So, with a keyboard and mouse, it feels even less responsive. Meanwhile, if you add some pretty significant amounts of aim assist, I think that feels a lot better. And take down the boat. Fuck, the enemy's locking onto us. See, when I shoot that bitch and there's a big-ass explosion, like 3 fucking explosions, that shit's cool. Then I shoot the propane tank this motherfucker is sitting next to. Boom. Get him by collateral damage and blow a chunk out of the fucking building. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I can tell they just chunked it off into like one big piece as opposed to where Battlefield will do like, I don't know, 6 or 7. But I can tell which one of these fucking runs better as a result. You know, maybe if Battlefield had like toned it down just a hair and focused on like the responsiveness and then had the destruction and then made sure this shit worked offline with bots instead of it just being some like weird, you know, once again, weird ultimatums, like I say, with Battlefield 3 being kind of the game that started this. You can't have a campaign and a fucking offline with bots mode. You can only have one or the other. It's like, why? That's just stupid. Call of Duty can fucking do this. So this is why everybody goes to Call of Duty. You get more content, you get more fucking shit, you get more good bang for your buck. Even these new games probably are still some of the best value you can get for games these days, simply because what other fucking game is giving you like 3 or 4 games in one? I can't think of many. You blow that fucker out of the sky, boom. He fucking spins and crashes into the ocean. Also pretty great acting from these guys. You know, when they're in a dangerous situation, they don't politely say, "Oh yeah, you know, my team is down. I'm gonna fucking die." They're like, "Oh my God, this motherfucker's trying to kill me! Oh shit, you're bleeding. Looks worse than it is. You're gonna be all right." You know what I mean? Just like, even if the acting isn't particularly good, they got the tone and the you know, and the mood right in a lot of cases. Like even the worst acting of a game like this, compared to shit like, you know, Price and Soap and Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. You don't forget when fucking Soap is like, "No, no, 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 no! No, Soap! No! We have to leave! Get off me!" You know, you don't forget that. That is fucking fantastic acting. And I just miss that in games like this. This is really when they started bumping up like the visual and audio presentation a lot. And it shows. You know, that looks pretty good down there. If I fucking squint at it a little harder, I can say, okay, well that's just a straight up cube. A lot of this is like lower poly. If I look at the walls of the building, okay, yeah, maybe that's lower poly, but I would rather a map that's like this, these graphics, if it meant that I had a huge fucking map, right? If Battlefield 3 or 4 had done something like this level of performance, I could actually be down there on the ground. That probably would have been better. You could still keep some of the buildings that get destroyed, but you would at least have 60 FPS, so it looks better, right? That would speak a lot more to quality than anything else, because the 720p 30 FPS with obscene amounts of input lag. I love the Xbox 360 to death, but that is something I am not sad went the way of the dodo. I'm not sad that clunky-ass games like those, like say Far Cry 3, died out with a shitload of quick time events and shitty bosses that don't have, you know, these finished real good sections. You just click a button and the thing might as well fucking play itself. When you go and kill Hoyt, you could stab him twice, or you don't even need to. You could, but it's not required, which kind of begs the question, why am I even allowed to stab this guy twice if stabbing him once kills him? I mean, it's part of the game, and it's like satirical, you know, take on Call of Duty, where it's like, instead of being a soldier, you're just a normal guy. What if a normal guy was put into this shitty situation? Turns out they probably wouldn't do so well. Meanwhile, this guy I'm playing as is, you know, he's a trained fucking professional. This dude is an army man. He fucking loads rockets like popping fucking candy on Halloween. Look at that shit. Yeah, there's no way you'd be able to fucking shoot that many rockets unless you're Iron Man. But I don't give a shit. It's fun. If it's unrealistic, that's why I love it. It was a good mix of, like, realism and silly, just action movie shit. They knew when to sort of, you know, cut the cord versus when to just, you know, keep going. Now, they really don't. They will keep going on a bit that's no good, and then they will just continuously keep going on that bit, because they know it makes people upset. And that's the problem with Xbox. They have basically become the old school EA that would take in studios and, you know, really not put anything of value out. Maybe the first game would be good, maybe the second game would be good, but eventually they would get fucked up. Either by deliberate or unintentional mismanagement, which is why they get the name Evil, actually. It's why people think they're a bunch of bad guys. It's why people think Activision is fucking evil, too. The difference with Activision, though, is they would at least put out fucking games. They would crank the shit out. So if one game wasn't good, you would have like 17 more that would probably do the job. They all started, you know, felt a little similar at a certain point, which was kind of the criticism that Ghosts got, but I felt like what Ghosts did was something that was totally overlooked. It was like the world building, the story, the idea, this cool, interesting concept. And Advanced Warfare went a little more to the interesting shit until Black Ops 3 really fucking hit the ground and totally went wild and over the top with just creative, new, and imaginative shit. And so did Infinite Warfare. You know, a lot of that shit was just super creative with the robots and the spaceships. I haven't played a dogfight, you know, spaceships, you know, fighting mode that was as fun as that since Halo Reach. And that's just some shit for the campaign. But what really, I think, took it above and beyond was how they even made, like, a VR mode for that shit. And that was really cool. The fucking Call of Duty in VR. I would love Black Ops 3 in VR. That shit would be trippy as fuck. It is one of those games that is just, like, demanding to... It is screaming for somebody to make a VR mod for it. It is screaming to have Corvus in VR and fucking Ravens and Frozen Forests and AI art and shit. Because it's just trippy as fuck. Like, the whole game is weird as shit, and very deliberately, too. And, you know, people would say they didn't understand the story. The commercial for the game literally spells it out. How far do you push technology before technology pushes back and you lose touch with reality? And then you'll have this very popular video by this guy called the Act Man, who will say he didn't understand the point of the story after watching the fucking commercial and playing the game that pretty deliberately fucking spells it out for you at every single turn. You have to be stupid and actively ignore every bit of the story and just not use your brain and totally disengage and check out of the narrative to not understand it. You have to make a deliberate fucking decision. And they kind of knew that. They kind of expected this story to not help, you know, not be terribly helpful at the time, but they expected it to age in sort of reverse, the same way that Deus Ex did. The first Deus Ex, I think as Ross Scott probably put it in, you know, Cursed Farms, he's said and done a lot of really awesome shit that I enjoy. In his Game Dungeon series, he talks about, you know, a lot of stuff like consolidation, how, like, corporations have been using taxes to imperceptibly destroy self-employment and eventually screw up the entire economy, you know, and how more so, the way that consolidation tends to happen is not so much rituals and cool secret orders like the Illuminati, which they kind of have in the game just so it's a fun video game. But so that way you have all these people, these greedy businessmen who oftentimes, or businesswomen, because there are plenty of those too. Kathleen Kennedy, great example. So these sort of greedy business people, anyway, who like to consolidate power from the little guys, which is kind of what I pointed out in my Battlefield 2 Battlefield 2 video, and why they tend to be so strict with the language and shit. The reason why they're concerned with all of this shit is because they want to be the only ones who can call people gay, retarded. You know, they want to be the ones who can say and do all the racist shit that people used to say and do on fucking Xbox Live. They want to be able to do that. They want you to not be able to actually be able to have any form of protected speech. They want to say that you're always doing hate speech when you just call someone a bad name they don't like on a video game made for adults, because it would offend little children. And here's a crazy idea. If you're trying to fucking, you know, cater to little kids, maybe don't make a video game where you fucking shoot each other with guns and violence. If that's who your market is, maybe go make a game with fucking Care Bears and other shit.
Got enemy ordnance
Oh,
outside your
this
building.
motherfucker just
We're
did a
engaging.
flip.
Danger close. Repeat, danger close.
So it's like this conflict of, and this clear, you know, aggression against their own former fan base, who they didn't see as any form of, you know, loyal paying customers to treat like a golden goose who they should always, you know, take care of. No, they saw it as more so we should kill the golden goose and get all the eggs. As an old Activision CEO once said to Marty O'Donnell, which is probably one of the bigger fucking reasons why he left, there's nothing like a good foie gras. When he was talking to an Activision CEO about that shit, also. Nice rotor. But yeah, when he was talking to an Activision CEO about how you should treat your employees and your customers like a golden goose, you know, that foie gras is a cooked fucking goose. Literally. You can't make this shit up. You know why this shit sounds fucking evil? Because of shit like that. That is the way that someone like fucking Dr. Evil would talk, not the way a businessman making a video game is supposed to behave. But those are the kinds of people who run these companies. At least like 10 years ago, they were they were able to have their egos in check, which is how they were able to make a half-competent game. They got their shit in check, and they put all of this bullshit that they believed in aside, and just sat down and fucking did their job.
On the ground, now!
You boys sure know how to make an entrance.
Shut up! Pirate, this is Ghost 6-3.
Through the window, through the wall.
Scarecrow, this is 6-1. We have him.
Roger that.
Fucking eat the dirt, bitch.
Need to be mobile in 30 mics.
Sandblasted this motherfucker. Spec Ops the Lion style. But yeah, the way that they used to make these games, like, just look at this fucking style. Look at the substance of a lot of this shit. Really big, bombastic action movie set pieces that are carried by being fast and being to the point. What made the next gen so cool was that it didn't just look good, it ran good. This shit runs on Windows 7.
When his mind broke,
Look at this. This is fucking crazy. Look at that fucking rock. He turns into a fucking rock monster. He's made out of fucking jello. And then they fucking turn him into crystal alien thing. Like that. They just fucking destroyed him. They turned that motherfucker into crack rocks and then fucking smoked him.
That's enough.
They beat the shit out of him.
Same thing you did. They set me free.
You taught me a long time ago. Ghosts don't break. Now, I'm gonna ask you one more time.
Everyone breaks, Elias. Why don't you ask your buddy Ajax? He was still with us.
Grab his chair. grab
I
his
got
chair.
his chair. There we go.
Bring that bastard over here.
Alright. This too, look at how he's moving, right? You notice how these characters are constantly moving?
You're gonna throw me out of this plane?
You're gonna
Notice how all that shit is moving behind him?
dig side in San Diego.
What? You gonna drop me, Lieutenant? Again?
Answer me, Rourke.
You really think you're gonna break me, Elias? Bring it
Take him
on!
out.
Come on! Here I am!
Logan, bring him to me.
Tackled that motherfucker.
It's
Also,
over, Rourke.
fun little shortcut they took. You can see the edge of the world, and we're actually not moving.
Beating me, Elias.
It's off in the fog there.
You just made my
They just
job
add
a
some
hell of
camera
a lot
shake,
easier.
wind, and these particles to make it look like we're moving. And then they have this other plane. That's just, you know, really good tricks like those. So nothing really happens if you shoot, but you know, we get hijacked anyway, so cool set piece. This. What I love about this is it's really more in the style of like COD 4 and the old Medal of Honor.
If you make it out of this, kid, there's always room for one more.
Bye-bye, bitch. Whee! He had to crash the plane. He gave me the slip. I gave him the finger on the way down. Right in hell, Rourke. But yeah, just like how you jump from character to character and place to place is what makes this really entertaining. There's just all of these really cool set pieces, and even though, you know, the story might not have been the strongest in the world, it makes up for it with just everything you fucking see and go to. It's pretty cool. Then you knife that fucking thing, and you drop down into the bushes.
Everyone report in.
Just look at that.
I'm with Merrick. Good. Keep this with me.
Even if they don't have like the highest texture resolution in the world, they still look really fucking nice. Just look at how dense this forest is.
I saw him get snagged on some trees before we landed.
All that shit. And that's not even like the highest resolution. It's probably like some fucking 512 texture, and this shit moves out of the way when you get into it. It's pretty good. Sways around in the wind.
Looks like we got company. We're coming to you.
All that.
Logan, if you can hear me, try and find the crash.
Parrots fucking, you know, fly. Just this, and there's the fucking God rays coming through the sky. Even though the sun's right there. You know, look at that. Look how beautiful this looks.
We still have patrols moving around.
Technically, these rays coming into the right side here, you know, from the left down to the right, defies the laws of light and physics. But who gives a shit if it looks pretty? And it does. Now, Spec Ops: The Line probably had a better message at its core. I could understand how someone would become sickened by this sort of thing. A lot of these games were used to indoctrinate, you know, little kids to join the army. And they had no idea what the fuck they were signing up for. It turns out a lot of people who come back from the army are pretty traumatized by the whole thing, and it's a pretty terrible experience because they realize pretty quickly it's not about heroism and, you know, being a patriot. It's not about actually saving your country. It's about business and the perception. What it's more so about than anything else is just how does it look on the outside, even if on the inside it's all fucking dying. It's the problem that they never really were able to address. They only perpetuated it, in fact. And that's kind of, you know, in itself, like, if you can't actually do better, and arguably if you can only do worse and add more stupid restrictions and lock shit down, well, why the fuck would I bother? You know, that's my biggest fucking problem. If you're not gonna do a fucking better job than this,
Left side, left side.
then simply put, you know, you gotta get the fuck out. Step up or step off. The reason why I'll talk this talk is because I want to fucking walk the walk. I'm not here because I want to fucking see these games crash and burn. I'm here because I love these kinds of fucking games, and I'm sick and tired of all these bad ones that keep coming out. How long has it been since I've had even a fucking mediocre game to fucking play with army dudes in it? Fucking forever. It's been like 10 years. 10 years, in this case 13 years. Now ultimately what I value in a game is not going to be what everyone else values, but it's what I think. And you know, I'm going to say what I think. The reason why I do YouTube the way I do is simply not for popularity, it's for fun. If I want popularity, I'll just go make an AI porn game on Steam. I'll get popularity and money real fucking quick. Because you don't need talent to make one of those, you just need 5 minutes. Write some really gay, cringy dialogue. Put a crypto miner in there and you're done. Yeah. Steam doesn't fucking quality assurance check their shit. They let everybody in their first game get on there. My mistake was sort of making the game not early access. I didn't press the early access button. Now, I had meant to go back and update it on Steam, and I did attempt to do that once with Rogue Planet Dead Sand. The problem is the game crashed every time, and I didn't feel comfortable uploading a broken fucking game again, so to kind of prove I had learned the lesson, well, you know, naturally, you don't want to repeat the same mistake. But since the game was broken and laggy anyway, well, I guess it didn't much matter by the end, so I figured, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna head back in there and see what I could do with the sequel. But then I just started coming to all these little realizations with, you know, Steam, and it's like, with Steam, you don't actually own the shit that you buy. And that's a problem, because if they've built all this infrastructure to basically act as ransomware, and there's no accountability, there's no form of reparation, there is no recourse or refunds or guaranteed even functionality of the fucking thing you buy for money. Money, by the way, that's what they want. I wouldn't feel comfortable charging you for a half-assed broken thing that doesn't fucking work and you don't even own. I wouldn't feel comfortable buying that. When I just started asking myself, how much value does Steam add to my life, and the answer was fucking 0. Yeah, that told me everything. Also, fun thing about this river is it's animated at like 15 frames a second when you look at like right next to you. But it doesn't look like it is until you really fucking glance at it closely. The ripples are a higher frame rate, but the water stream is not. So it kind of hides it, ultimately. See what I mean? And it's also just a low resolution, like, cube map that's reflecting off of it, because you don't even need to see too much of the reflection in that to get the idea that, okay, there's a forest up there. Also, nice little effect is the rainbow. It's another nice effect I liked in Halo 4. These little green pockets of water here. See, when I add the pink filter, it makes the green and especially the yellow kind of pop a lot better.
Don't move.
It gives the sort of piss filter visuals more texture than they originally had. Now, it would have been nice to have different color filters I could tune, because the colorblind filter is just something I've added for the sake of making this all look like it's a lot more dirty and broken than it is, while still being kind of colorful. So it's like a colorful, like, lime green as opposed to just the dirty brown that it was before. Because all this shit looked really depressing before. Now you add some pink, well, oh, suddenly that has a very natural looking glow to it. The hands of my guy stand out more. It looks like a desaturated purple pink. We're gonna flank low, stay quiet. Very quiet, remember. Still stealth if there are no survivors. There you go, see? Stealth mission. Easiest way to clear that fucking horde out. Look at all this vegetation too. And it does help that there's a bit of bloom and like contrast to make this not look like it's just some generic bullshit that looks super blown out. Like Black Ops 3 syndrome, where everybody looks like fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow cartoon anime men.
Billy's overhead. Wait at the tree line. Let him pass.
And they just look awful.
Terrific.
Meanwhile, look at how much that grass is waving in the wind, and then you have the sun, clouds.
Single file.
The grass is wet too. They just put a texture on that. That looks really good. You know, it's not the highest resolution thing in the world. Seeing how this was 2013, it's kind of impressive how close they got. Just using simple like texture tricks like this. But the reason why I would look at a game like this is because of how good the performance is. This was a cross-generation PlayStation 3 and Xbox One, you know, and PlayStation 4, Xbox 360 kind of game. 7th and 8th gen got this game. So if this shit can run on a PlayStation 3, that means it could probably run on just about fucking anything if I were to use the same tricks that they did in my game. Bye-bye. And also, just this big scrolling water texture, too.
Command, this is Mako 2-3. We have multiple rocket launches 5 places on POS. Repeat, we have multiple rockets.
And if you get spotted, there's a different section that plays out here entirely. Trees start falling on you. Meanwhile, if I'd actually gotten out of there without being detected, well, they wouldn't have seen me. Now, in both cases, you still get, you know, this section where you fall down the waterfall. But now it's a little different.
Coming in hot, actual.
Now they're coming in hot. Took down the helicopters. Hey, puppy. How you doing? There you go. But yeah, you know, fun shit like that. It's that if you fuck up, I like that the mission accounted for that. You don't just instantaneously fail. If it was more like that throughout every Call of Duty, I would be fine with the linear format.
The president has authorized Operation Clockwork. An assault on a Fed facility higher
So
than
this next episode, we'll be taking their oil.
infiltrate the facility and gather any information you can on their missile program.
What about your old friend, Rourke? He won't stop coming for us.
Rourke will get his, but as of now, Clockwork is the priority.
We gotta go take down their James Bond mountain base, and then we do the oil rig. That's right. Okay. We will get to that in the next episode.
22:35.
Awesome. Zoop. Mask on, motherfucker, and lights out.